I see freedom of expression is give the freedom to express. Everybody has the freedom to express in equal and fair manner. The importance of freedom of expression is, if not for the freedom of expression, we will see the society leads falling back into corruption, misinformation, and misappropriation of public funds, and finally it could lead to kind of an authoritarianism in any society, right? So it's a threat to democracy. Well, as a journalist, I feel if I don't have information, I can't report. For information, people need that freedom to express themselves, their opinion, the information they know. If not for that, we will not have any information, we will not see any news, we will not see any in-depth articles without that freedom of expression. So people need to have that freedom or liberty to talk to journalists. Otherwise, we will see only the government voice coming in all the media. Well, if people give us information without any fear and force, which means that it enables me to do my job very easily, right? So we have the people voice, the people opinion, and the information they give, which are crucial for a story. If you don't have the freedom of expression, people will not, or sources, I mean in journalistic jargon, it's sources. Sources will not talk to us because they have a fear that they will be reprimanded for what they give, or the information they give. So if you don't have the freedom of expression in the society or in the country, that's a huge hinder for my job as a journalist, and we will not be able to tell the truth to the public. Time to time, the government come up, successive governments come up with their own policies on, who should give information and who should they approach, who should journalists approach for information. So every time what we see is, each government or each regime, they try to filter the information that only favorable for them, right? No government wants to, wants for journalists to write negative about them. So basically, they try to give only the positive side of their story. So we have seen a lot, and the best thing is, like, what I did was in my profession, we get the story from wherever it is, but we try to give a lot of background information so that people understand what's the relevance to the story, right? For instance, if the government says something very positive about them, we also give the other side of the story through what has happened in the past, right? So without asking anybody to kind of tell negative about what's happening, we give the facts what has happened in the past. So when audience read the story, they know that this government is bullshitting. So that that's how we try to navigate. Otherwise you can't, because you also have the limitation, like you will be end up in defaming or some other legal action by the government or the others. So every time I see the freedom of expression is being tried to be curtailed, right? So every government is trying to do that, whether it's online safety bill, whether it's the broadcast regulator bill, right? Every time you see there is some challenge to limit the freedom of expression. So it's happening. It's an ongoing process, and it's not. I mean, Sri Lanka is not exceptional. It's same, in other countries as well. But with social media and with all these the Z generation, it's very difficult for governments to kind of hide the things for a long time, right? Unlike what we saw in 80s and 90s, it's not easy for them to hide a lot of things, because one leak will be there. And even if they come up with online safety bill, I don't think they can manage and monitor that properly, because you always have other venues like you can have the server in other countries. Some people from other countries can write about these things. If the threat is there for journalists in Sri Lanka, they can actually pass the message to somebody in the other country, or they can use servers in the other country. So it's a evolving process where it will be very difficult for even governments to kind of completely suppress the freedom of expression, and it actually kind of has given an impetus for economic growth, for prosperous development in countries. So the governments also, I think, should think about take the positives of the freedom of expression, and to use the existing laws to see if there's anything negative to curb that. They should do something within the existing law, which other countries have done.